All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebony again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style, and today we have Miss Tonya with us. How are you, Tonya?
I am good. How's everybody?
We are awesome and so happy to have you speaking with us today. For those of you that choose to stick around to the end, you will have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift. So stick around and let's see what Miss Tonya wants to share with us today. She has some awesome jewels to share. Tonya, just start us off so that we get to know a little bit about you and share a motivational quote that really inspires you, something that encourages you and gets you going.
I would say my favorite motivational quote is to live life on purpose. This quote was given to me it was somebody that I just met in the mall and we just clicked. She was actually talking to my kids and then we got talking. And that was the last thing she told me. She was like, have a good day and live life on purpose. And the more I thought about it, just like, we're so stuck in doing things so regimented and sticking to, okay, I have to get this done, get this done. But we never take time to actually sit back and live life and be happy and do it on purpose. So like the more we learn to live life on purpose, the happier we'll be. So I would say that's my motivational quote that keeps me going every day.
Yes, and I'm all about people living a purpose-driven life. And I think that your purpose is whatever you decide that is going to be the most fulfilling for you. So doing something just for the sake of doing it and your heart is not in it and you feel like, oh, man, do I really have to? Well, maybe that's not really a part of what you're supposed to be doing on this earth. So figuring out who you are as an individual and how you can utilize your gifts and how you can inspire and serve people, I think that makes a more fulfilling life for all of us.
You're absolutely right. I think people are so stuck on getting it right the first time. And they don't realize that it's going to take a few times to get it right. Like what you might start off liking, what you might start off doing. You might be good at something, but not necessarily love to do it. And people just get stuck on, oh, well, I'm good at doing this, but it's not fulfilling to them. Yeah. So it's not going to be fruitful for them. So once you find that thing, that niche that you both love and you're good at, that's when you'll start to see the manifestation of your work and your effort. And then you'll start to see growth in that.
Yes, there are a whole lot of people out there that are extremely successul because they're good at something. You know, they've developed their craft, and how can you not when you've been doing the same thing for year after year after year? But it is something that you really find that's enjoyable and fulfilling to the heart. That's a different story. Yes. You could be CEO of a company. I've talked to several of them. CEO of a company that you're making 6 figures a year that looks great on the outside, but in the inside, you're feeling like, this is not it. I'd rather open up a floral shop than be CEO of this company that I've been at for 25 years. I hear that often enough to know that, yes, success on the outside does not dictate that being your purpose.
Exactly, especially like monetary gain. Some people equate, and wrongfully so, success with how much money they have. Yes. Their bank account. Oh, I'm successful because I'm able to pay my bills and I'm able to go on 10 trips a year. That's not what success really is. So I think people just get off base when it comes to success, because really, what impact are you having on someone? That's success. If you go and you're making 6 figures, 7 figures, and 10 figures, but you're not impacting anyone positively, if you haven't been able to deposit anything in someone else's life, you're not that successful. You just have financial success. You don't have overall success. So I think people kind of deviate from the true meaning of success, or they misunderstand the true meaning of success because of what they have. Things can come, things can go, but your character, what you deposit, like I said, in people's lives, all of that is going to carry you. And that's why it's very important to be mindful of how you carry yourself, how you talk to people. nobody's beneath you. Like, everybody has a level of success to me. They just have to find what makes them tick and what makes them driven. And everybody can be successful. Everybody can be successful. It's just, how bad do you want it?
Right. And that is so true, that everybody, they, for one, have their own definition of success. And number two, everyone can be successful in their own way. It's just finding what that is. Like you just said, finding what that is, and becoming more self-aware, and then having the determination to continue with it. Because it's not always going to come easy. We all know that we're human beings, and there's always going to be some type of external circumstance that comes in the way, and it might even derail us for a little bit of time. But generally speaking, if you're passionate about something, you won't stay down for long. It's like that thing came, but you get right back up because something that you're passionate about. Can you talk a little bit about a time in your own life where you didn't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe you even began to doubt yourself, and you felt like, I don't know, it's just so much coming at me, but at the end of the day, you were able to bring your goal or that dream to fruition?
Sure. I would say that it was when my father passed. It's been 5 years now.
Tonya, you're a little low. Are you covering the speaker?
No, I don't think so. You hear me now?
Barely.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me better?
Barely.
Oh, really? My speaker. My speaker is fine. Yeah, let me see. Turn it on. Okay, can you hear me? Am I better?
No, I can't hear you. For some reason, it got really low.
I literally did not do anything.
Now I can hear you.
Now you can hear me? Oh, that's crazy. I literally did not do anything.
Sorry, you guys, for that brief interruption.
Right.
Go ahead. You can repeat what you just said.
That was when my father passed. At this point, it was 5 years ago. My father, I've always had a strong relationship with my father and my mother, but I went to my father for a whole different set of guidance than my mom. Business related, I always went to my dad. So it's like when my father passed and he passed, it was like sandwiched between my mom's birthday and my birthday. So it felt like I just lost a whole portion of my soul. So it's just like I felt lost. Like, who am I going to go to now? Because I pitched ideas off my dad. And my dad was always, I'll say, very tough when it came to like business and giving us feedback, because he always wanted us to be better. And he said, you strive to be the best. You don't strive to be average. You strive to be the best. So you do what you need to do. You work out the kinks and you strive to be the best. So when I lost him, it was just like I could, for the life of me, I could not get myself together. And I had supportive family, I had supportive friends, but it was not my dad, So it wasn't until recently, actually, that I came to grips, like, listen, your dad is gone. And and that took my uncle passing and seeing my cousins, because my dad passed suddenly, my uncle passed suddenly, and then seeing my cousins go through what I went through to accept my father's death. And I think that was actually the beginning of me being able to grow and realize, like, listen, Tonya, a lot of things that I do professionally, personally, it's just like, I do it to make not only myself proud, but my dad proud, because he imparted so much into my life, and I'm one of 8. So like all of our siblings' lives, and he was consistently tough on all of us. And just like, seeing the different things and scenarios play out that my dad gave us, it's just like, oh my gosh, he was on to something. He was dropping gems. And back then we were like, oh man, like, why is he saying this again and again? But now that we're older, that we're more mature, that we're gaining knowledge in our respective professions, it's just like, he was really on, and I think people don't realize that parents that are tough, it might seem like the worst. The worst in the world, but like now it's just like, you know what? I really appreciate everything that he's deposited. So now I'm seeing the fruition of the information that he deposited on me that I can now implement in my life, both professionally and personally. So it's just like, okay, I got this. So now it's just, I got this, and let's keep it moving.
Yes. And when you have children, they, they want to behave the same way that you behave. And you're like, man, that's like how I was.
Yes.
And it's awesome to be able to have that solid foundation that your dad provided to you, because then you just pass that down to your children and they pass it down to their children. And it becomes a ripple effect across the world, because the way that you act in this world, when you act with integrity, you act with character, and you are a positive person, well, the people around you are influenced. And then they begin to want to influence other people, and they begin to want to influence other people. So I think that, appreciating his toughness at the time, it was like, man, if you don't go somewhere and sit down. Of course, you can't say that, but you're thinking that.
Right. Right.
And I think that that's important, depending on the type of child that you're raising as well. I know with my two children, my daughter's just naturally responsible and pretty disciplined. My son, on the other hand, is a total different attitude about life. He will literally just play all day if he could, and he could get away with it because he's smart, And when I grew up, I didn't really need a whole lot of toughness. I was similar to my daughter. I just knew what to do, and I did it for the most part when it came to schoolwork. Now, of course, I got into the teenage years of activity that everybody gets into if you're around, some of the wrong people.
Right.
Not that I was that bad, but when you're looking at raising your children, you have to also look at what is best for this particular person and the way that they navigate through life. My son, you don't put any toughness on him, it'll turn into an adult that you don't want around you.
I think you're absolutely right. You have to kind of parent according to your child's personality.
Yeah.
And so I have 3 of my own. So my oldest, he's like even keel, like he studies, does his homework. Yes, mommy, this. My middle son, he's very like playful. Everybody loves him. He's naturally gifted in whatever he decides to do, but you have to kind of like pull the reins in, because like yours, like he'll play all day if he could, but you're like, right. Okay. And then he's like, okay, mommy, sorry. My daughter, my youngest daughter, like you have to put the reins on her and hold it, because she's very feisty. She knows what she wants. So it's just like, I try not to dim that too much, because she's very like tough. Like she's very tough. She knows what she wants. She's adamant about what she wants. So I don't want to dim that too much, but some things that she says, like, and she comes off really fast. So just kind of like trying to mold it into something that's positive without changing the essence of who she is. Right. So it's just like, like trying to, with all 3 of my children, I try to accentuate their positive and work on their negative. And I put quote unquote negative because, kids, like, what negative? Like, it's not like really like bad behavior.
Right.
But it's just like formulating and molding it so it could be beneficial for them.
Right. So. Yeah. And having that level of support in their life is going to carry them through as they become an adult. And I think that talking about support is particularly key when it comes to living out our purpose and following our dreams, because for a lot of people, they didn't necessarily grow up in a household similar to what you're explaining. They might not have had a very strong parental figure, and they may not have very strong friendships even as an adult. And they may even know what their dream is and what they should be doing, but they feel like they don't really have the strong connections that they want to have in order to bring it to fruition. So can you talk a little bit about how can people gain support when they feel like their closest family and friends are not giving it to them the way that they want it?
First off, I would like to say that it first starts with you. You have to figure out what makes you happy, what makes you tick, and that's when you go. And that's not going to be easy because you have to go and explore. And exploration isn't really easy for all of us because we tend to put ourselves in a box. And to go outside the box, that's an uncomfortable place to be. So you have to be comfortable knowing that you have to go beyond your comfort level to explore and find out what makes you happy. What in the process of finding out what makes you happy, that's when you're going to meet like people.
Right.
People that's going to be beneficial. Some is going to be in your life for a season. You have to be realistic. Some you'll be able to carry and develop relationships that's going to be sustaining. But each person is going to deposit something that's going to help you grow. Like even if it's not a sustained relationship, you're going to learn something from each relationship. And that's going to help you grow as a person and figure out, okay, this person, I really didn't like this, or okay, this is like a totally, I don't want to be around a person that's like this. You have to develop that for yourself. And then you want to surround yourself with people who are striving to do something. And if it's a person who's just on the same level all day, every day, haven't grown, they can't do anything for you. So my philosophy is I try to surround myself with people who are better than me because they force you to be better. They challenge you, but they don't try to change the essence of who you are. And that's very, very important. Like I want to be a better me, but I'm not trying to reshuffle and change the person. I love Tonya. So I'm not trying to change who I am, but I need that challenge because I don't want to be mediocre. So and you kind of become comfortable. If you're around the same people that's really not doing anything, you settle with being mediocre, which isn't going to benefit you. It's not going to benefit the world because people don't understand. Like everybody, I feel, is a light to the world. And you just have to figure out the placement of your light in the world. So, you know, it's hard, but you have to travel outside of your comfort zone to grow and to find people who's going to motivate you. And what people don't get is like sometimes the people that you expect to have your back, to be motivational, to deposit things in, it's not going to be them. It's going to be the people that you least expect. And it might be people that you might meet on the street and just have a general conversation with. You don't know, but more than likely it's probably not going to be the people that you expect it to be.
Yeah, and I strongly believe that even people that you don't naturally get along with or you feel like, oh, I can't stand this person, then you know what type of person you don't want to be. You know, so there's always a lesson in every single relationship. I often will say to people that if you can't find someone in your immediate environment with this world of online where you can find people with similar dreams and similar aspirations, there's no reason why you should ever feel like you're all alone. You're only alone because you're choosing to be alone. That's how I view it. Well, all these billions of people on this earth, especially having the capability to go online and connect with people with your same exact interests, there's no reason why you should ever feel alone. And just, you know, extending yourself to enough people, you'll begin to see that it becomes easier and easier to do. So not looking at it as stranger danger, just looking at it as we're all human beings, we're all brothers and sisters, and we can all help each other. And if someone doesn't want to help you, that's fine. There are billions of people on this earth, so you will find somebody that's going to be able to help you.
That's the thing. People tend to stop at, oh well, one person turned me down and one person not willing to meet. It's not only just one person in the world.
Right.
For that one person who said no, there's probably 5 people say, yeah, sure, I'm willing to share my knowledge. Everybody's not going to be willing to help you, and you have to be fine with that. You have to be realistic with it. But some people, they kind of seclude themselves to kind of validate their feelings that no one is there for them.
Right.
So you can't do that, because you're closing the door on possible opportunities if you're not willing to explore who can help you. You can't just, even if I'll say like 10 people, you might have to ask more than 10 people.
Yeah.
But it's so, like you said, it's so many people, especially with social media. Like, you know, and you can hashtag the mess out of stuff and figure out who has your like goals and ambitions and stuff, and you can connect with them on that. And it's local people, it's national people. So people really have no excuse of trying to be successful.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk real quickly before we end about self-care and how that correlates to living out your purpose and being successful, because we all know that when you're not at your best physically, mentally, emotionally, you don't necessarily want to put your light out there and serve anyone. You don't even barely want to serve yourself. You just want to lay in bed all day.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about any kind of self-care strategies that you've done and that you can encourage other people to try to do, or just talk a little bit about the benefit of self-care?
Well, it's very, very important, first of all, to, like I was talking about earlier, to find out what you love to do. Like my thing, I love going to the gym. I love body combat, any Les Mills. That's my way of releasing frustration and centering myself. And I also have a strong core of people who support me that I go to if I feel like I'm overwhelmed. Listen, if I feel like I'm overwhelmed, I'm like, I know I could call my friend Gary and his wife Ricky. Like, listen, I need to just decompress, and I should just let it flow out. And then after that, because him and his wife give me feedback, and I'm like, okay, I'm good, and I can keep it moving. So everybody has to find what makes them just alleviate all of the stress and just recenter themselves. And everybody's outlet is going to be different. Right. Mine is the gym and talking it through. People might be skating, some might be boxing. Everybody is different, but you have to find what works for you. What works for me is we're two totally different people. What works for me might not work for you. And also prayer is very important. My mom used to have all of us sit down, like in the morning, we used to have to pray together as a family, and that's bonding, and that sets the precedent for the day. So I tried to do the same thing with my kids. In the morning, we say a prayer, and that sets the precedence for the day. Everything isn't going to be perfect, but at least you try to get your mind right before you know you have to face the craziness. So I'll say the gym, talking it out, prayer are the three key ways that I make sure I take care of myself, and eating right. And that's not easy. That's not easy, but like water, cut down on the sodas, all of that. But you know, if your insides feel good, you'll have more energy, and people don't understand. It's hard. Listen, I went from 194 pounds to now I'm like 124, 125. And everybody's like, when I tell people my story, oh, you're probably one of those. No, it was a really, really big challenge. But I found as I was starting to lose weight and get healthy, it wasn't losing weight to get skinny. And so, no, I was barely able to breathe. I really wasn't able to take care of my kids how I wanted to. But the more I lost, and actually I start to get more energy. I started to get more confidence. So, like, you know, if you take care of yourself honestly. And I'm not going to say go vegan, do paleo, do keto diet. Like, it's a lifestyle change. You cater it to what makes you feel good.
Right.
And it's you have to sustain, like, and that's the thing, like, some of these things are fads because everybody is doing it, like the intermittent fasting. Can you really do that for the rest of your life?
Right.
So you have to understand that it's a lifestyle change, and it'll benefit you, and but it has to be self-sustaining. But working on your happiness is an everyday thing. Every day.
Yes, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that working on your happiness is an everyday thing. And also you have to look for something that is sustainable, because if you're looking for something that's a quick fix, then chances are you're not going to stick with it for long. And as soon as you have some major stressor in your life, you'll revert back to your old ways. Exactly. But if you figure out something that you can stay more consistent with, even if it's only you exercise twice a week. Some people, they get into an all or nothing mindset of, oh, I need to go 7 days or I'm scum. Do something that is consistently working for you, and make sure that it's something that's enjoyable, so that it's not, oh, this is an extra chore in my day. Yeah. So I strongly agree with you when you say that it's a lifestyle change. At times, yeah, you might be looking for that quick fix, and that's fine for the temporary, but that's what it is. It's for the temporary.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you all for listening today. She mentioned some awesome stuff all throughout. And for any one of you that are listening that are struggling with your health, you're struggling with identifying what your core life purpose is, you need help with career enhancement. We all know that in order for you to really carry out your dreams, you need the energy and the vitality to do so. And if you stuck around this long to the end and you joined my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group, I offer a few complimentary assessments to help you identify what your core life purpose is, what your true personality is, and what your gifts are, so that you can be a light in this world as well. And any one of you that are listening that want to share experiences from your own life or your own story, so that you can inspire and influence women around the world, reach out to me. All my contact info is in the description box, so you can connect with me. I would love to be able to support you as well. Do you have anything that you want to add real quickly before we end that you would love for ladies around the world to hear?
Sure. Quickly, I am partnering with my niece, underscore Shaytastic, SHAYTIC, on Instagram. She's having a prom drive. It's going to be benefiting for the moment Baltimore City and Baltimore County in Maryland. Dresses, jewelry, anything like things like that. So go take a look at her Instagram page, or you can look on mine, Tonya, TONYA _ Renee, RENEE. And we're going to be pushing that. We're trying to help underprivileged girls in the Baltimore City, Baltimore County area in Maryland. If you have any donations, just let us know. It's all for a good cause. We love teenage girls. We want to see them succeed. Everybody can't afford what we can, but we want to make sure everybody feels beautiful around prom. So yeah, go check Shaytastic, Shaytastic _ STIC. Sorry, I said.
And all of that's going to be in the description box. You guys don't have to go rush and get a pen to write that down. All of that's in the description box.
Okay. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And me being from around the Baltimore area, I know exactly what a lot of those families are dealing with in terms of finances and income opportunities that are not always afforded them, even though they live in a metropolitan area. So yes, check out her Instagram. And if there's any way that you want to be able to collaborate with either one of these ladies for future ideas and endeavors, feel free to do so. Obviously, she's welcome to collaboration. And that's what it's all about. Us all working together. Teamwork makes the dream work is what I always say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Tonya. I really appreciate you. And I know that your message is going to go far. And it's something that we all need to hear on a repetitive basis. Even if you've heard things a billion times, we're still learning and still growing on a daily basis. So it doesn't hurt to hear it again. And I encourage all of you to share this content out with people that you believe that can benefit. And again, if you want to be able to share your experiences with me as well, connect with me, and I would love to have you on one of the future episodes. You guys have an awesome day wherever you are in the world, and don't forget to live a life full of meaning and purpose. I will talk to you soon.